Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. You noticed right away. Good ear. Hello, Lalandra. Hello, Atlam. Hello there. Hello, Atlam. Hello, Lalandra. Hello, AJ. What are you prepping for tonight's session, AJ? Let's hear about it. I'm having a little bit of technical issues with my mic, like it disconnects every few seconds. All right, so I think the mic is okay. I have it precariously balanced right now. I think it'll work. Sorry about the minor delay as I played with my mic. Y'all can hear me all right, right? Selling car at door. Hey, Chim, you should stick around for reasons. Mainly this reason. You won the damn challenge, so you should definitely be here. So BRB as soon as you can, okay? And congratulations to you. Your map is like literally crashing my computer right now. All right, so it looks like everything's working. Let's pull this up. Welcome one and all to the Damn Challenge stream. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility available on Steam that allows you to build maps in a snap or your map making or for your tabletop campaigns, primarily set in like D&D or Pathfinder. Dungeon Alchemist, though, allows you to build very intricate, detailed, beautiful maps by hand. And the point of this stream today is to showcase some of those beautiful maps. Today's stream is called the Damn Challenge. We host an ongoing map-making contest here every 2 weeks. The last contest was titled Maze. We gave our community 2 weeks to submit a map using Maze as inspiration, and oh boy, there was some really cool entries. Very excited to showcase them for you today. But the winning map is this one here from Chim. the neural Nexus, which is an absolute mind-breaking maze. It actually makes my computer crawl just looking at this map. Geez, AJ, it sounds like your players are in for some shenanigans tonight. Hopefully they get the gold they need. But all I gotta say is, Chim, holy cow, it looks like you put some serious effort into this map. And not only that, the map is absolutely tanking my PC, which is a tank. So I would say, you know, this map is intense. Similar to camping, you know? Because when you're camping, you are, as a matter of fact, intense. Unless you have, like, a camper trailer, of course. The, yeah, this map is insane. I knew what you meant, Blue Mage. But Toldeo could be, like, a magical version of Toledo. Holy Toldeo! I like it. It is really beautiful. It's a wonderful map. Honestly, like, I'm confused how you built this. Your computer must be an absolute tank. But right here was what really got me. This intricate, like, filigree design with all the angled round wall pieces. Yeah, but then you get 3D detail. It's a 3D maze. So most of the mazes were like a top-down maze. And this one was mazes in every direction. I.e. a neural network. So your computer is a bit of a tank. Let's hear about your specs, Chim. Let's hear those computer specs. I wouldn't go as far as saying that. I just think this is taking it to the whole, a whole nother level. And as you go up further in the maze, there's even more detail. My computer is literally chugging right now. If it crashes, I'm sorry. If you're getting dropped frames, that is why. This map is intense. Oh, fair enough. You don't want to share them on stream? Fair enough. But if you look, every one of these sections has like a little memory in them. Yeah, I got it. I appreciate that, by the way. I kind of figured out how the map worked, but yeah, it was frustrating that I couldn't use the cinematic camera. I'll be honest with you. It was kind of frustrating getting shots for the stream today, for the social network posts. But you know what? That's not your fault. You made a beautiful, amazingly detailed map. I'll get out of the head. Might melt it. I like the little sign here. Brilliant. Yeah, I watched a bit of the video and upvoted it on YouTube. Atlam, are you getting this? You know what? Never mind. I just refreshed and the Steam feed came up for me. However, there we go. Okay, now I can see the chat and the amount of people. Anyway, got Twitch. I've got TikTok. TikTok is frozen. We've got TikTok. We do. Hey, Kalali, welcome back. Hey, Nimrod, how you doing? Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry. A dam is as lucky could be. Oh, I'm back inside. May is Mental Health Month? That's good to know. Thank you for sharing that. Mental health is very important, especially in this day and age where we appear to be kind of working and grinding and pretty much just plugged in all hours of the day. Very important to take some you time. Oh, I love this part right here, the little airship up in the corner. But yeah, you made this to kind of represent mental health, I'm assuming. It's a beautiful map, Chim. You did a great job. I was seriously gasping when I first loaded it. My computer took like 5 minutes to load it the first time. And then when it loaded, I was like, like this. I'm really digging the new tunes, by the way. I've been playing the same music for like 2 years on stream, and I decided to go grab a different playlist from Stream Beats, and this is one I actually used to use on my personal streams when I would do like Flight Sim. It was a very good playlist for that. So I had this one video where I did a backflip, like a loop-de-loop backflip in a twin prop plane in Flight Sim, and it triggered so many pilots. Like, so many. They just don't like people having fun. It was quite funny, to say the least. I really love the detail, Chim. Hey, Rev. Is that supposed to kind of look like a brain? Yeah, Chim is the winner. Chim killed it. With this insane third dimensional maze. Hey, Geronimo, how you doing, brother? I appreciate our conversation the other day, by the way. Though you do not need my permission to post anything anywhere. You can post as much as you like, whenever you like. Oh, hey. Water. The elixir of life. This is quite detailed, and what I love is like every one of these little things has just like a little core memory tied to it. Let's listen to records and play some music and chill out on the couch. Here's like a map with stuff on it. Like every one of them is very interesting and intricate. Could you imagine like jumping around through someone's memories as part of a mission? Coyote Canyon. Ooh. What's this? Oh, that one's your time one, right? I remember the gears. Yeah, I see that. Now I'm getting the throwbacks. Man, that's a lot of work. I once did a map with a bunch of the winners from the Dam Challenge. It's like a library featuring all the past winners up until about 5-6 winters ago, and or maybe 10 winters ago. It is such a crazy map, but it's nothing like this because it's all flat. Yours is like 10 times better. I love this idea. Um. Oh, wow. Cool. Very cool. I'm assuming you and Jack will know each other then? How long did it take you to make this map, Jim? Oh, very cool. Good to get the relation there. This troll over here in the library, just chilling out. Love it. It's wonderful. Man, this map is seriously making my computer chug. Fantastic, though. Quite literally a brainstorm, if you will. You lost the map on Wednesday and wow. That's impressive. That's very impressive. Just goes to show that an impressive entry can be made up to the wire, you know? Very, very well done. I mean, so much impressive verticality in this map, but detail. Oh no. So there was more detail than this? Wow. So even with the sacrifice detail due to the lost map. Do you have autosave on, Chim? If you don't, you really should. It's good for you. You go to File, Settings, Autosave. You can set an autosave interval, right? 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, 1 hour. So anywhere between 60 seconds and 60 minutes. And it'll save an autosave adjacent to your master save. And it's just labeled as autosave. So if you crash or something happens, you might have a backup in the worst case scenario. Keep in mind, it only creates one autosave and it overwrites that autosave at the interval you've set. So 5 minutes, every 5 minutes overwrites it. But just something to know for future reference for everyone here. Always be saving. ABS, always be saving. You don't want to lose your hard work with your map. Let's say you put several hours into your map. You should save probably every 5 to 10 minutes, if not more. I'm constantly hitting Control S, or I'll go up to File and just drag down to Save to verify. The great way to make sure your work isn't lost, say your computer crashes, an update happens, something happens, any number of reasons. DA crashes, whatever. Ah, gotcha, Chim. Definitely should set up the autosave. Anyone who puts a serious amount of time into DA, Dungeon Alchemist, should definitely set up that autosave interval. It's saved me so much time. Though you do need to kind of tinker around with what's the best autosave interval for your workflow. I tried 1 minute before, and it's kind of messed me up sometimes. Like, if I'm sitting there talking to the stream while I'm working on a map, and then it crashes, sometimes it overrides the work I'd just done. 5 minutes seems to be right in the pocket for me. Nimrod, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry you lost your work. It is frustrating, but I learned long ago when I started like photo editing in like high school. Photo editing, and also like when you do any type of work on a computer, it's good to be just saving constantly, because you never want to lose your work if your power goes out. Any number of things can happen that aren't your fault, right? So, do what you can to protect your hard work. Smart, Chim. That's probably a good way to do it. The bust gets in the way, but it's pretty cool. It's like isn't this like a well-known sculpture? I can't zoom out high enough. Who is this? Who is this? Pop up the head. Gotta find where it was. Didn't you say it was near the back? Whoa, it's a whole statue. Ah. Wow, it's big. Yeah, that's a good way to increase the frame rate for sure. Got that huge asset in the way. Free your mind. Love it. Love it. AJ, I endorse that. If you're at your computer a lot, frequent water, frequent stretching, and eye breaks. Also, just take care of yourself. I end up sitting at the computer all day sometimes. It really makes my sciatica flare up, and really is painful. So I make a note to not do that. I tend to have a tumbler around with some water in it. But yeah, way to stay hydrated, Rev. Sorry, did you say how long it took you to make this overall, though? Jim? Okay, United, let's check the top down. It's a big map. In fact, it is 50 by 50. Let's check out the overlay view. It'll tend to give us a better view. Blue filter glasses. That's a great suggestion. So, you want to hear my funny story there? I bought a very special pair of blue filter glasses just to wear while I worked on my computer and stream and game, because I get headaches from staring at the screen too long. And my son at the time, he thought they were really cool because Dad wore them, and he picked them up and wore them during the day and whatever. And then I guess he put them down on our coffee table, which was slate, and just scraped the lenses, absolutely wrecked them. I actually didn't make this map. This was made by Chim over on our Twitch feed, Traveler Chimaru. This is a map. It was an entry in our bi-weekly map making contest called the Dam Challenge. But this map here was absolutely astounding, and it's called the Neural Nexus. The theme for this challenge was maze, so we challenged our community to make a map using maze as inspiration, and this was one that Chim came up with. Throughout the stream, though, E90, we're going to be showcasing maps from that challenge, so if you're interested in checking it out, let us feel free to stay tuned and see what it's all about. Oh my goodness, this map is crashing my PC so hard. There we go. Gotta zoom in. So it's like flashlight rendering only a small amount. Hey, Artful Darkness, thank you for the likes. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Oh man, that map was so intense. I remember that one also made my computer chug. This is beautiful though, Lolandra. You did, I mean, sorry. Chim, you did a great job. I apologize there for the name slip. But yeah, thank you so much for putting so much time and effort into this build. I really like this part here. It looks like the gate, if you will. Honestly, like, I apologize for the name slip. I was just answering Lalandra's like statement about glasses and just got the name mixed up. I'm still very much in my wake-up period for the day. So my apologies. Who's the snail queen over here? Granny Nettle. Alrighty. While this map is absolutely fantastic, it's time to check out some of the other maps from the Dam Challenge, some follow-up entries. Makes lichen tea at the crossroads. Nice. I bet the travelers at the crossroads are really liking that lichen tea. Okay. On to top left. I'm going to go left to right, top to bottom. Blue Mage. Understandable. Take the time you need for yourself, like personal life, your home life, your family, friends, work, that all comes first. And personal self-care is very important. So definitely don't worry about it. Like, I understand if you're struggling to muster up the creativity. You wouldn't believe it, but even I kind of, my well runs dry from time to time, and it becomes difficult to, fully come up with ideas or dive into them because I'm not convinced they're worthwhile. So I think we all struggle with that from time to time, and I'd just like to let you know you're not alone there. One other thing that really saps my creativity sometimes. Oh, no worries, Blue Mage. Like I said, take your self-care first. A maze. Yeah, that's clever. I was about to say that, but you beat me to it. So, honestly, you could have just put the maze, M-A-I-Z-E. Corn mazes were a big part of my childhood because they made them all around in the farmland where I grew up. Like every fall for Halloween. So that would have been a brilliant idea. And honestly, like, don't let it get you down. Like, by no means is anyone required to contribute or participate in every damn challenge. Like, I should be the only person who is participating in every damn challenge. Meaning, like, the judge, you know? Y'all, you do so much for our community by sharing your maps, sharing your 3D models, participating in these, you know, community initiatives. So if you need to take, you know, a week or 2 or 3 or 4 for yourself and not make a map or not submit to the challenge, by all means, do it. You know, it's very important to take your self-care serious. Hey, see you later, Rev. So this map was shared by Sailor Yugoth, who won our last damn challenge, and it's quite lovely. I'm gonna say it's quite serene, if you will. Hey, Antics and Rolls, how you doing? How was your stream the other day? I'm sorry I was not able to drop by. At a prior engagement. But if you look at this from a top down, it's quite serene. Set in the Feywild biome, which gives it just a diverse kind of color palette, while being very rich in these kind of orange and purple hues. But then if you look in here, there's all these other colors just kind of tucked in. The water is incredibly vibrant. I think this map is actually quite beautiful. Simple, to the point, elegant. And I love that the maze is just simply a network of structures, you know, along this island chain where all these homes are. It's a maze of homes, if you will. Definitely a breath of fresh air from what I experience in suburban hell, if you will, in the United States. So it looks very inviting. Oh yeah, let's try the lighting for sure. One thing I really like to do in the Feywild is throw on the purple filter. It is, I feel like the Feywild should default to this purple kind of twilight. I tried to convince Wim to generate it with this by default, but he was against it. So this or this turquoise really are just so beautiful in this environment. A place where you'd want to stay a while. You got Smap, right? Does have that vibe, right? It kind of reminds me of, like, almost a little bit of, like, how somewhere in a game like Fable would be. Oh, making them freak out? That's the best kind of DM. You should be just casually rolling dice behind the screen for no reason. Just to, you know, let their anxiety peak. For sure. It does. The music mix is tight for this, isn't it? Here, let me add some different liquid, shall we? How's that look to y'all? I think it looks pretty good. Molten gold, it could be, right? Nice, Antics, nice. Do you ever post your maps on the workshop or in our Discord at all? I feel like I may have missed your maps if you've shared them in the past. I've caught your streams and stuff and seen your work there. And I understand why you don't want to share your maps like readily if you're streaming and have your players experiencing them, but maybe after they've been through them, have you shared them on the workshop in the past? Wait, hold on. What's your passive perception? So I've been thinking about taking the observant feat. I already have 17 like passive intelligence checks, and then my perception is like, yeah, I don't know, it's like 14 or something. So it would push those up really high and make them ridiculous. Nice! Zach's a good guy. Zach makes some amazing maps, and honestly, I am so grateful to the not only the maps he makes, but the 3D models he shares on our Steam Workshop. You can't go far without seeing a 3D model made by Zach on the Steam Workshop. Definitely a top contributor, a top lad in our community, for sure. The alert feat on Warforged is broken, I imagine, because you can't be surprised, right? And then the big advantage to initiative. Ah, Sack, you're over here lurking. I figured us talking about you would make you come out of the quiet and say hello. His nose started itching because we were talking about him. It's like, my people need me. How you doing, brother? Yeah, these observation decks, for instance, shared by Sack. He says one thing and then leaves. Oh gosh. The collision tool in the asset uploader is, let's just say it's something else. TikTok, thank you again for the continued likes. We're up to 500 plus likes on TikTok. Thank you so much. Zach, are you excited that soon your invisible lights, you may be able to remove them from your collection? Or are you just going to leave them up? Zach's invisible lights are great, but the next update is going to basically render them somewhat obsolete. There will be 2 new types of abstract or invisible lights in the next update. You can see one here and one there. One acts as a spotlight, the other acts as a kind of general lantern. But you can turn them on and off, change their color, change their brightness, move them all over the map, and upon export, they're invisible. Wow, you made the collisions that interactable? That's impressive. Yes, you can, in fact. See, like like this. That's them off in build mode. Clearly this angle is not an export angle. This is just me filming. There's actually a toggle, like a checkbox, several places in the build menu. There's one in the objects menu, there's one in the lighting menu, there's one on the abstract lights, so when you select them, there's an option to toggle them all off and on. But yeah, this video kind of clearly shows that. I was hoping it would demonstrate that enough, but yeah, I guess that. But essentially, you can show the light in 3 different states. Or I guess 2 different states. On, you know, without the housing and on with the housing. I just showed it in this video to kind of give you an idea where the lights were and how they represented before they disappeared. Oh, I'm sorry, Zach. Fair enough. Like, you know, if you need to unplug for a while or kind of not focus on Discord, do your thing, man. And just so you know, if you ever need someone to chat with, you can always ping me. You know, Discord, wherever. I know you're staying away from it, but you need someone to chat with, feel free to hit me up. I feel like we've been friends, what, a couple years now, you know? So I'm here for you, brother. Eye of the Entity. Oh, what is... I hope I didn't butcher your name. Eye of the Night. Eye of the Night. I got it. Eye of the Night. That's it. Welcome to the stream. You're super eager for multi-level? So am I. Multi-level is going to be very cool. In fact, I can show some clips of multi-level right now if y'all would like to see it. Here's this same map, but you can see me transitioning between the floors. It's actually quite easy. You can use the plus or minus keys, or you can use the interface on this left or right side, the up or down arrows, to jump between the floors or add a new floor. Ideas for D&D. I like the new lighting options. Is there any talk about being able to turn off the day-night? The next update should solve that, because when you have roofing, there will no longer be external light sources bothering it, is my understanding. Though it hasn't been fully developed in the next update, so stay tuned. There's still a lot of work before we launch this next update, like quite a bit. Our dev team is small, but we have, you know, people working on different things. One person is adding all sorts of new quality of life features. One person is improving the load time of Dungeon Alchemist. Another is focusing on multi-level and angled roofing. Hey, see you later, Antics Rolls. Have a good one. But it's actually quite simple to add new levels or transition between them. Nice ideas. Fantastic. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Hey, by the way, Eye of the Night, sorry I butchered your name earlier. That was just awful of me. Yes, Jim. Every floor will be its own individual export with batch exports, is what I've been told. So the batch exporter works in tandem with this. It was built specifically for multi-level. Though we added in a few extra features after getting feedback from people like Zach and Geronimo, etc. Thank you. Honestly, usernames are like the bane of my existence, Eye of the Night. I try my best to read them and do best by your username, but it's like I get bombarded with dozens of them a stream. So I'll try and read them. Some of them are trolls trying to get me to say things I shouldn't. Some of them are like just little variations of other spellings because you're trying to grab a name, but the other one was already used, I'm assuming. So it's like I have to kind of wade through all of this, like, I don't even know, like, what to call it. Just like a weird internet language where everything is constantly changing and updating on the fly. Let me show you all another multi-level clip that I really enjoy. Wim filmed this one. I did not make this one, but I think it is just a great example of multi-level structure. Where is the bad boy? Ideas, I don't know if we'll ever offer PNG exports, because when you start making massive DA maps and export them as PNG, they become such massive files. Like if it's a 50 by 50 map, the PNG exports are like hundreds of megabytes, right? Because the resolution we're talking about is far beyond normal, like, images. So essentially, we have opted to avoid PNG, but I personally have been pushing for them to use WebP, which is a more optimized format that is very, very lightweight and does the exact same thing. And it's supported by all the major VTTs we use too. So I do think we're getting close to that point where we would offer an export where you can have a transparent background. So you could do things like foreground and background layers. But up to this point, it's been kind of mute, or a moot point, because we haven't had roofing or proper adequate multi-level to support it, right? So I think after, either during this update or after this update launches, we'll probably come up with some sort of WebP transparent export option. I would love it personally, and I understand why people want it in our community, because it gives you so much versatility in, where you can superimpose it or how you can edit it, using it in foreground or background layers, etc. Understand the reasons all too well. I think just as we wade through early access, there's a lot of things that need to be done in certain order of operations. Does that make sense? How y'all feeling about the new music today? We have had hundreds of thousands of people in our community share similar, insights, how they want transparent backgrounds of some sort. I got the devs to kind of meet in the middle some time ago with the green screen biome. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all, ideas for D&D. But if you go into the terrain panel, you can do green screen. Hey, thank you for the heart. Or when you're generating a new map, you can set it as green screen. It's one of the two non-terrain biomes we have. There's dark parchment and green screen. So green screen, you put houses on it, put objects on it, and you can export it, and then you can either use it in, video, because green is very easy to remove through chroma key removal, or in video editing or photo editing, it's very simple to remove that green and then save it as a PNG with a transparent background. That way it can be used for live, video. It can be used for editing, video, or photo editing. All three at the same time. So it does kind of suit that need, but it's not perfect because you do need to do a little bit of work on the back end. I've actually used it to great success. To essentially, here, let me find a video here, to make tiles. So we have, this is going to get really green, I'm just warning you. So this is like a drill in Dungeon Alchemist, right? So I recorded this on a map that was like 20 by 11 to get it as close to 1920 by 1080. And I set this in the center and recorded it for, the export, which was the 30-second WebM loop, right? And then I was able to actually put that into a video editor and do a drop shadow on it and a little line on it. And this is the WebM version of it without a background. Yes, Canary Riot, we'll be picking a new Damn Challenge theme before the end of the stream. So Maze is our current theme. By the end of the stream, we'll be picking another one, which I encourage our community members to make suggestions if they have any. But here is the kind of final work there, where I took that drill and put it in Foundry as a tile. And then I was able to move it around, resize it, rotate it within a map, which, you can't normally do with Dungeon Alchemist objects, so this allows you to kind of circumvent that. Sobka, what you been up to? Glad you're back. Missed you around these parts, my friend. Okay. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's possible, though it does take a little bit of trial and error to get it just right. But I mean, windmills, all sorts of, animated objects, you could take advantage and create tiles or foreground layers if you wanted to, kind of by hand. It takes a little bit of work. So I apologize that, it's not quite transparent, but at least we've given some tools to make it work in the long run. Okay, let's move on to the next map. We looked at this one a bit and played with it. We've got a few more. Submit a theme for Dam Challenge, Down the Rabbit Hole. Interesting idea. I typically, want to select a theme that is only 1 to 2 words, mainly because the more words you select, it's very kind of drilled into a theme, right? When I pick maze, it's kind of open-ended and people can make it whatever they want, right? So our last 3 themes is just an example were maze, paradise, and hellscape. Typically, we try to pick something that people can use the map in their own campaign, and it's also a very simple theme that draws a lot of inspiration from it. Oh, hi, Kitty. How you doing, baby? Come here. You want to say hi to everyone? No, you just want to say hi to Dad? Hey, Dag. How you doing, buddy? I've been kind of wanting to do a theme that was sewer. The meme. The kitty. But yeah, I'm open to discussing themes right now. Let's talk about them. So you actually want it for the higher, detail. Interesting. See, they're trying to not do PNG to avoid that because, for the most part, once you get over a certain size, it's useless to our online community. But if you're wanting to print or do TV tabletop, I can understand why you'd want that. Thank you for saying hi, baby. We'll get mom, okay? That's so much. 2-minute, pet session. Hey, Jack, how are you, buddy? What's new, brother? What you playing nowadays? I'm glad you told me that, though, Ideas. Can you elaborate on that for me? Why do you want higher resolution exports? Jack and I go way back. Jack is probably one of the longest viewers of my stream content at the moment. Hey, Canary, thank you, much appreciated. I don't know what that is. Is that an arrow? Looks like an arrow. Thank you so much. Mirror image, interesting. Ambush. We did ambush probably in the last 3-4 months, I feel like, so I probably want to avoid doing that theme again. Heist. Interesting. That could be good. Are you still playing Sea of Thieves, my friend? It's supposed to boost the stream? Well, thank you so much for doing that, Canary Riot. I want you to know, though, you're under no obligation to, tip or, donate to the stream. I have no way to stop it on TikTok, but because we are a business, we really don't need that. And I understand it does help the stream, so I'm not going to say no to it. But I just want you to know that while you're doing it, you don't have to. So thank you so much. Whatever you decide to do is up to you. It's like a penny? Oh, okay, cool. Honestly, I just feel bad when people do that because, TikTok is algorithmic based streaming, right? So you get more presence, the more likes, the more views, the more donations you get. But I also feel bad because we are a business You know, we make revenue from selling copies of Dungeon Alchemist plus an infusion from our Kickstarter, so it's not like we need the tips, you know? But either way, thank you so much, and I don't want to turn it down and say it's bad. I'm saying thank you, and while I appreciate it, totally not necessary. Let's see here. Suggestions so far. Subterranean, folktale, legend, seaside, sewers, ambush, mirror. Heist. I'm leaning towards legend, sewers, or heist. Any of those jump out to you? Whoa! Dog just scared me. Just barked really hard. Legend is pretty good. Sewers is pretty good too. Legend, like, I mean, talk about a good movie, right? Like, totally launched Tom Cruise's career. And also, Tim Curry was just like the absolute most sassy devil you could ever see in any movie. I think my favorite part of the Legend movie is when they light up perhaps the best devil. Yeah, I would say probably. I honestly, like, the best representation of a demon or a devil I've ever seen in, like, movies, cinema. They did such a good job for a live action, like, makeup work. Jack, you're still playing Sea of Thieves daily, bro. You have so much commitment to that game. I commend you for your love and dedication to the Sea of Thieves, my friend. Assassin's Creed Shadows is great. I've heard good things about it. You know, despite a small group of gamers' best efforts to make everyone hate it, it's been getting rave reviews and doing well. So I'm happy for them. It's been a while since Ubisoft has launched something really solid, so. Tom Cruise was so young and so, like, new in Hollywood, he was fine with having a unibrow during the movie. Is it Hinhan Ska? I want to make sure I say that right. I don't know. Tom Cruise, I have a respect for the guy's dedication to his craft. He, like, does his own stunts and stuff, which is crazy for someone his age. Hinhan Ska. Love it. You were playing Delta Force for a bit? How was it? I've heard mixed. Have you seen the videos of Ben Stiller and Tom Cruise, where Ben Stiller's Tom Cruise's stuntman? It is, oh my gosh, it's too much. It's so hilarious. They're like sitting doing an interview, and it's like the interviewee's like, so how did you know that he would be your stuntman? He's like, well, we've worked together for years, and it's almost like we finish each other's sentences, and they say that together, and then Ben Stiller and him just start doing the Tom Cruise laugh, like, I'm dying. Delta Force used to have some great games back in the day. Delta Force Black Hawk Down was one of my favorite games growing up. It's probably one of the, but that video I was just talking about, look it up. It's good. You'll love it. This map, a canyon maze, okay? So a nice little spin on a maze. Instead of it being, you know, a detailed normal maze or a hedge maze or whatever, we've got a canyon, which also can be very maze-like, and you can get lost in them very easy. In fact, hundreds of people a year die in the American Southwest just hiking because they get lost in the labyrinthian networks of, you know, canyons and whatever. They react. Oh, wait. You're telling me the new Delta Force has like a remastered Blackhawk down in it? Is it remastered campaign or is it the multiplayer maps? Or both? Because that might actually interest me in looking into it. See, Jack, I played those when I was like 14 years old through like 16 during like a really dark time in my life when pretty much the only thing I had that was stable was video games. So I played like a decent amount of Black Hawk Down, a decent amount of Battlefield 1942. And oh man, those campaigns, the multiplayer with them really got me through some dark times. You believe it or not, you live in a canyon, Lilandra? Props. That's dope. Except for kind of scary. Are you worried about like flash floods or anything like that? Nice. Dude, I have a copy of Black Hawk Down somewhere in my house, like the old paper box copy that's like this big. Man, I used to play that on a computer. Oh my gosh. I remember playing multiplayer on my first high-speed internet connection that my neighbor and I shared because it was like too expensive for any one of us to afford as kids, as like young teens. So we split the bill and we got like a Linksys router and we ran an Ethernet cable between our houses through the attics across like the little like vents. So we could both like play Black Hawk Down and StarCraft and Neverwinter Nights together. Oh man. Flashbacks. You're just high enough that flash floods. DM it to me, Jack. That's fine. Send it to me, brother. That in here in chat, probably not required. Mainly because it's not really tied to this. We're just making conversation as we look at these maps. Because, you know, streamers gotta converse, right? Sure, you guys would love it if I just sat here silently and stared at the screen. Jack, you wouldn't believe it. I've recently been told that people like the sound of my voice, and it's relaxing. And they will listen to my streams, like podcast style. I didn't believe it. See? I don't believe it. This is very great. I think this is a great take on a maze map. Because to be honest with you, yes, natural mazes exist, right? You can get lost in the wilderness very easily, making a wrong turn. And something like this is a great idea. I should start book readings? Oh my goodness, that'd be a great idea. Which book should I read? But I could do it in a Smeagol voice. Did I read Shakespeare in Smeagol? 1984, very topical. Oh my goodness. This is quite a maze. It might be amazing, if you will. whether it is darker in the mind to suffer the slings of arrows. I can see the trace. I can see the trace. That's less soothing. So this maze is very intricate, and I can see the trace showing the way through it. Someone's secret has been revealed. So this person very cleverly downloaded a maze that showed the solution and used it as a trace. Very smart, actually. Because you can import images and trace them for maps in Dungeon Alchemist. So why not, right? Love it. Let's turn off the tracing layer, though, so we can enjoy the map without it. Holy cow. Absolutely nothing in the maze, but the very intense maze. Well, it's not just Control-C, Control-V. Imitating the walls to the maze's structure isn't something that's automatic in Dungeon Alchemist. You would have to go through and trace out all these walls. So it definitely took a lot. Hey, see you later, Jack. We'll talk later, my friend. I was just kind of hoping there might be like chests or objects throughout the maze, because if your players are going to go through this, man, this is going to be a survival fest. Could you imagine? It could take dozens of sessions to get through this maze. You think so? Honestly, this is a very great example of the tracing tool. I commend it, because it's not like it's simple to just trace out all of this. This would take hours to trace out. Unless, of course, it's like Swedish Cook suggested, a JSON. Is that even possible? If y'all are doing that, that's insane. First off, I commend thee for finding that type of shortcut. This song slaps. Look at this, though. You could see the route. We're going to get out eventually. Your players would get so frustrated going through this. You would definitely need someone with a map tracking all their movements so they would know where they've gone. Could you imagine the amount of encounters in this thing? This is like insane. I don't know, just this much movement. It's impressive. So they're just walking around endlessly with nothing. And then trap. Or wall appears, splits the party. Or Minotaur. Yeah, Nimrod, honestly, it is interesting to see how players react when they don't get an encounter for a while, right? How quickly they become complacent. Do you all have examples of how your players became complacent and quickly lost the plot, so to speak. By the way, tracing this in top down would be much easier than a 3D. This is a beautiful map. Despite it being just a very just rudimentary maze, it is super advanced. Tons and tons of twists and turns. Your players could be lost in here for months. And honestly, the maze is the traditional dungeon crawl, in my opinion. I don't think we have enough of them anymore. Like I think a lot of tables avoid traditional dungeon crawls in favor of just traditional or like more explorative adventuring, right? I agree, Hinhan. I would definitely like to do a dungeon crawl someday because they feel so much more hardcore in the survival aspect of D&D and like management of your inventory. It's I don't know. Tradition like 5e it kind of just threw that to the wayside. People don't worry about that as much anymore. Exhaustion, food, water, inventory management. And that's fair, you know? I think it's fair that the game is kind of geared towards character development. In all fairness, it has grown the D&D, fan base from a small hobby to, a very large group of people. Arguably something that is much more marketable than it was, 20 years ago. And I think that's because people are able to, in a way, choose their story much more than they could in the past. Oh my gosh, traps that teleport you back. Are we playing Candyland, bro? That's evil, Swedish Cook. That would be brutal. Hey, Polaris, how are you? Welcome back. Okay, what were the themes that we had kind of settled on as a group, Atlam? Highland Lass always makes the most thoughtful, detailed, and just serene maps. This is one of my favorite mazes in the bunch because A, it's a hedge maze, and B, it incorporates elements of, other things. These neat little cast iron banisters and stairs that are not really often used. The cast iron gazebo or cupola. It's just a beautiful, very symmetric maze, right? Actually surprised she didn't put her... Oh, there it is. It's way to the side. She puts her little watermark slash copyright thing over here. Smart. If you're a creator who makes and sells maps, you can hide a little watermark to the side and people won't notice it, but you'll be able to tell. Sack also has some clever ways of hiding watermarks in his maps, who creates and sells his maps prolifically. Heist and Legend. Okay. So, people, we need to decide between those two. If I need to be the tiebreaker, I will. But if we could, consolidate our vote into one, it'd be ideal. Legend and Sewers? My bad. Okay. Legend and Sewers. Thank you, Atlam, for clarification. Okay, it's not Heist at all, actually. It's Sewers or Legend. Hogwarts, yeah, it does have the traditional kind of hedge maze from Hogwarts a little bit. Theirs was definitely a labyrinth in size compared to this, but has that traditional feel. There was a game I used to play years ago called Lotro, Lord of the Rings Online, and every spring they would do a spring festival in game where you could gather rare items to get like coins and things to trade for rare gear. And I personally loved that event, but the event featured a maze that would appear in this field near Bree every year, and you'd have to ride out to it and get through the maze, and we'd learn the path of the maze in the first day or two, and then we just run it constantly and get tons and tons of gear from it. But people would PvP you in the maze, if I remember correctly, or try to slow you down. So we'd have to run as a group and help each other out. Anyway, mazes like this is exactly what it looked like. Very beautiful. I love that there's like intricate, detailed little statues here and there. Oh, this person's been turned into a stone. Looks like Legend's the winner so far because we got a couple on TikTok as well. Did you see those, Atlam? Everyone's a big Tim Curry and Tom Cruise fan. I understand. Sewers smell, right? No one wants to be in a sewer. Honestly, we've done sewers in the past, so it's not like we're avoiding it intentionally. We've done so many damn challenges at this point, like over 50, you know? We do one we used to do them weekly, and then people kind of got burnt out in the first 6 months we were doing them. I started noticing less and less people were entering, and so I asked the community, what's your thoughts on this? Everyone's like, 1 week's too short. So we made it 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, we started doing that. That means there are how many contests a year? There's 52 weeks a year. So 26 damn challenges a year. That equates to almost a month's worth of maps when all's said and done, right? One almost for every day of the month. And that's crazy because there's like different map making things throughout the year. There's like Maptober or whatever. And we tried to participate that in years past, but I think people are kind of like, hey, we already do our own thing. It's the damn challenge. We do it all year. So you get a map every 2 weeks like clockworks all year. Anyway, it is optional to participate in the damn challenge, by the way, which is our ongoing map making contest. Anyone can participate as long as you own a copy of Dungeon Alchemist. You use the theme we pick as inspiration. Make a map of any shape or size. Submit that to our Discord in the Damn Challenge channel. There's some rules pinned at the top. Make sure you follow those rules, or you will not be qualified. And if you do qualify, you have a chance to win a $10 Hero Forge gift card. And if you win, your map is the first map featured on the Damn Challenge stream like today. So the first map gets about 30 minutes of FaceTime. A lot of people see it, get to interact with it. And ultimately, it's a great way to kind of flex your map maker muscle on the community, show off your skills, and really just push yourself to new levels as a map maker and creator. So I think we're going to go with Legend. That seems like the theme for the next Damn Challenge. I'm going to update that right now. All right, we've got Legend locked and loaded for our next Damn Challenge. I encourage you all to take the weekend. Think about your next map if you're planning on entering. Put some thought into it. Maybe put some drawings down, some schematics on paper or ideas. Pen to paper is always a great way to articulate your thoughts before you start building. Once you've done that, sit around and wait until I've announced the winner and the new theme on Discord, which will happen between the end of today's stream and Monday afternoon sometime. Once we've announced that, you can start submitting your entries for the Dam Challenge. Remember, you have between now and 2 weeks from now. So you have between now and the 18th, end of day, in your time zone. That's 11:59 p.m. in your time zone. So if you are in Pacific time or whether you're, somewhere else, it doesn't matter. Submit it by the end of day in your time zone. Okay? I happen to be in Pacific time, so I'm like one of the last time zones of the day. So I get to police it a little bit better and know when everything's entered. Works great. Anyway, honestly, I haven't watched Legend in probably 10, 15 years. I definitely need to recheck it out. My favorite part is when they lit up the whole dungeon with the mirrors that reflected light perfectly. And then they reused that same concept in The Mummy, years later. Highland Lass, I don't know if you're here, but this map is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful, lovely labyrinth in the Dam Challenge. So inviting, but also terrifying at the same time. I don't know if I'd want to be here for long because it feels like it's full of traps and curses and encounters that would probably put me through serious misery. Anyway, knowing Highland Lass, to say the least. Let's move on to the next map, shall we? This one's from Greywind. Is it really practical, huh, Hin? Seems very impractical. No, legend is just the word. We're not using the movie. We were just talking about the movie because it's named that. Sorry, Chim. Legend is just the inspiration. You can use the word legend to make a map of any shape or size. Please, I mean, if you use the movie, great, but you don't have to use the movie at all. In fact, I'm sorry for the confusion there. It's just using the word legend as inspiration for your map. Quite a detailed map we got here, which happens to have verticality. You've got a lower level, right, with all these cool walls of force that show different areas, traps, kind of blocking areas and separating different parts. Feels very Prince of Persia to a degree. I don't even remember describing a scene. What did I say? It looks like there's a lot of meat in here, which is disturbing because what if they just take it from everything down here? It's a mouse lab. Oh my goodness, that's terrifying. The mirror trap? Are you talking about Prince of Persia? What's up with this dog? I like that good boy. I want to play with his ears. Look at those ears. Those look fun as hell. This is intense. Yes, tell us how you feel after. It's like they're observing people rat racing through the maze. Oof, that's a little rough. All jokes aside, though, if I was reading books like e-reader books, like voiceover work, would people actually be interested in that? And what kind of books should I read? Because it's probably got to be something that's like Creative Commons, out of copyright, right? This is brilliant. These poor mice have been through a lot. Let's take a look at the overall top down where you can see a better judge of everything. Oh my goodness. I'm noticing we got a few people lurking. It does look like, you know what this reminded me of when I first looked at it? There's this game that used to be included in Windows computers years ago called Chips Challenge. And it quite literally was a circuit board. You played as like someone navigating a chip. It reminded me of that or Simon. Because Simon has the red, yellow, green, blue buttons or whatever. Or like a bop it or something like that. Portal? That's really cool, Hen. I did not know that, but Euclid is pretty dope. I appreciate Euclid and, you know, his contributions and mainly the creation of geometry. So, I mean, if they were making cool kind of mirror lighting contraptions, I'd imagine it was probably a little bit more efficient than the average. Though I wonder how efficient it would be with mirrors of the era. Because when they only had like brass mirrors back then, which was finely polished brass or copper, I guess, maybe. Not necessarily like we have silver nitrate mirrors, which are poured, you know, liquid silver nitrate poured on glass. So I'm wondering, like, how effective that would have been. I don't mean to question you. I'm just like, I like to think about that. The prospect of it. Is this really just like something we've passed down from years? This like story? Is it fabricated or is it real? Polished brass, copper, and even iron. Man, I cannot imagine iron being an effective mirror. But yeah, I imagine, like, I guess. What's the phrase they say? If you can shine a shit or whatever. I honestly, that's crazy. But I would not put primitive people beyond that. Like, early humans had a ton of time to do that kind of stuff and focus on those tasks. And, like, people are always like, oh, the pyramids, there's no way that could have been done by humans. No, they had a lot of humans and a lot of time. Have you seen those iron skillets on Reddit where someone will, like, polish them till they're, like, a reflective mirror? That makes me laugh. Everyone on those, like, skillet cast iron subreddits is like, no, why? People do it, like, ironically to trigger them. Beautiful map. The Archimedes mirror, I feel, is largely myth. But I am willing to accept it. At the time, I just don't think they could have built a concentration of mirrors so vibrant to do it. They can definitely do solar ovens and concentrated mirrors today. I don't know. It's very possible. I'm kind of skeptic of a lot of historical accounts because a lot of times things have been like embezzled and like over time like has been, what is the word where they exaggerate? Yeah, likely a myth. But I mean, there are solar ovens and solar like there's this guy on TikTok, he has what he calls a solar death ray, and it's just a bunch of beautifully arranged mirrors on like a satellite dish, and he'll melt like stones with it, but they're really close. The further that ray gets away, the less concentrated it is. And for something to be on the shore and attacking a ship that's moving seems so improbable. Oh, for sure. I'm not against these things being probable, but I'm also kind of skeptical. I think more often than not, a lot of like historical accounts have been exaggerated over time due to, we played this game in school, telephone, right? You could have 10 people in a line and tell one story on the end, and by the time it gets to the other end, it's a completely different story. So you span that out over thousands of years, you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? Humans they love to exaggerate. We love storytelling. It's like our favorite thing. But yeah, ants under a magnifying glass, I totally understand, but at the same time, there's a scale issue, right? They'd have to have that magnifying glass like 80 feet in the air to get the sun they need to actually make it work. And they'd have to be massive to actually have a conical, like, concentration of sun in a space to, like, melt a ship in the time it takes. I do think Archimedes' mirror, though, probably blinded people, probably was hot, maybe even set sails on fire, but the wood of the ships, probably not. Greek fire is terrifying, by the way. It is a marvel of science for the era, and when it was lost, it took, like, how long to remake it? Like, modern scientists are almost 100% positive that napalm is Greek fire. Yeah, like that's why I love Mythbusters. They really put in the effort to make it like they put in some time to test it. Like they wouldn't say it wasn't plausible unless they'd put in serious money and time into it. That being said, like again, the ingenuity and overall like craftiness of early peoples that had lots of time. They didn't have deadlines for production and like you know I don't know where there wasn't as much like commercialization of everything they did, where not everything had to be like, oh, we need all the money to do this and the people. It was just done, right? I do think there is some error, like room for I'm lost in this maze already, for things to be, slightly plausible in the right conditions. I do think Archimedes' mirror existed, but I don't think it was quite as drastic as we're led to believe. That, yeah, yet again, just personal opinion here. You're talking to a history buff. My grandfather was a history professor at a college. I basically got an earful of history every time I was over at his house, and I had to memorize facts and talk to him about it constantly. I was never allowed a moment of peace. I am lost in this map, and I haven't even gotten past the first hallway. Oh my gosh! This build is excellent. So, the entire maze is concealed under these top portions, right? I love that we were talking about the Archimedes death ray for the last 20 minutes. That's why I love our stream. We're showcasing maps from the Dam Challenge. We get a little sidetracked because of my streamer brain. And then we start talking about history. Though, I will say this, there is a death ray, an Archimedes death ray object in our next update. So this is very topical. Yes, there is a, dish with mirrors all over it in the next update. Wim showed it to me a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that makes sense, Alaska. Your map was brilliant, by the way, Alaska. I really liked it a lot. Very, very good. Where did you get that maze from? Is there a maze generator that does that with the trace to get out? We looked at your map a little bit ago. I was absolutely stunned by it. I'm going to just delete these off so we can see the maze underneath, because as much as I love navigating it in first person, I cannot see anything. Did you know there's like a competition for robots and like programming code to solve mazes? So they make these little robots that'll like run through a line maze on the ground, and they try to solve it as quick as possible using various algorithms. But also like advanced robotics is a part of it too, building a robot that can move really fast and turn really fast and whatever. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Sack. You are a trooper, bro. Absolute trooper. I have nothing but respect for you, brother. Hey, look, there's treasure in the maze. If they make it all the way to the end. I never found it in my explorations. Zach, your dedication to your craft is commendable. Oops. I'll never use this ship, but it's fun. Oh, my man. I feel bad. Holy, I never realized there was a stair and it was a top level. Oh my goodness. I explored this maze for like an hour yesterday, and I never found the end. There is 2 levels, and oh my goodness. That is insane. Fantastic build. Let's take a look in this top down now that we can see it. I think near the end they were getting bored. You know, when you're making a big map and at the end you're just kind of throwing in some extras to get it done. Took you about 30 minutes. Honestly, I did not solve it. I did not find the end when I was wandering around in first person. That being said, I'd had a couple cocktails, so I was a little tipsy. And needless to say, it's hard to explore maps when you're a little tipsy. So maybe next time, I shouldn't. It does kind of look like a semiconductor plate, doesn't it? Ah, Nice, Alaska. Well, that is an impressive map you shared, and the fact that you traced it all out using the tracing tool is impressive. I'm sure it took you a long while to build that. We're going to head on to Lalandra's map next. Two Cocktail Mac can't solve puzzles. But then I wonder how I'm so good at solving puzzles during D&D night under the same circumstances. I'm just like locked in on D&D night. Oh, my D&D session so soon. It's on the 13th. 13th. Can't wait. So close. We're just like almost a week away. You use Don John to trace this out? Nice, Lalandra. Don John is fantastic. I actually partnered with them to make sure our tracing tool and Don John maps can be like 1-for-1. So when you export a map from Don John's dungeon generator, blah blah blah, the like size it shows matches our size. You can also go 2-to-1 or whatever, as long as you continually perfectly double the size, it'll continue to match. But basically, Don John added 2 aspects to their exports. One shows the size of the map in the like description of all the rooms, so it'll show the width by height. And also, when you export a map in Don John, it shows the size of the map in the file name too. So at a glance, you can just look at the size, type that into the tracing tool, perfect match, or you can do 2-to-1, perfect match. Zach, seriously, my friend, thank you for all you do. I cannot believe the amount of effort you put into your Patreon and to supporting your grind and your passion. I wish you nothing but success, and seriously, at the rate you're going, I feel like at some point the snowball is just gonna tumble down the hill, become an avalanche before too long. Especially as DA becomes more versatile. You are so like incredibly talented with Dungeon Alchemist, right, my man? But then pair it with all these new updates with multi-level and different shaped rooms and all these things, it's only going to benefit you in the long run. Oh my goodness, Zach. Well, I definitely appreciate your work as an artist. That being said, we are looking at Lalandra Blues Maze, so I want to talk about Lalandra and highlight her work at the moment. This maze was quite a treat. There's so many different like aspects of it. First off, verticality, but also theming. Lots of different themed areas that feel diverse from each other. Areas that feel like interesting puzzles. Unique and interesting rooms. Agreed, Asmodeus. And I don't mean just to highlight Sack. I'm just kind of stroking his ego a bit because he is a very amazing part of our community. But to be honest, there are a lot of people in our community who share quite amazing content. Maps, assets, otherwise, right? Yourself, Asmodeus, not to be discounted. Not only are you a moderator in our community, but you have uploaded hundreds of thousands of assets to the Steam Workshop, in your spare time, which I know is all too few given your current role and, the things you have going in your life. So thank you so much. Additionally, we have, Hieronymo here, who's prolific map maker and shares tons of maps. Pretty much everyone watching who has participated in the Dam Challenge is a prolific sharer of maps or assets. And to be honest, our community is all the better for it because of them. It wouldn't be quite as, dynamic or prolific if it weren't for the constant, contributions from our community members. Kind of pointing back to that, Dungeon Alchemist has over 11,250 free maps available to anyone who owns a copy. And these have all been shared by community members. Maps of all different genres. Here we have a space frigate. Here's an ancient flooded city. Here's a ship. Okay, you can do all sorts of things in Dungeon Alchemist. Your wildest dreams of maps can be made, but it really just takes a little bit of ingenuity and patience to churn out some of these detailed, beautiful maps. Highland Lass, I absolutely loved your map. It was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing it. Loved the symmetry. Seemed so inviting and terrifying at the same time. I felt so uneasy exploring it, like I was about to be like in a trap or cursed. I'm sorry you missed it. It was quite fun, though. Thank you for sharing. Lilandra, how much time did you put into this map? And also, what was the inspiration from going into this multi-level kind of verticality that you offered in this build? 30, oh my goodness. Fantastic. I felt like I'd seen that hedge maze somewhere before, but the updated version is a nice spin on it. Hey, look, you got a gate room. Chevron 7 locked. The movie Labyrinth is one of my favorite, first off. David Bowie, right? Little bit of Labyrinth factoid. Our esteemed leader and creator of Dungeon Alchemist, Wim DeHare, his handle on Reddit is Sir Didymus. Didymus was the kind of nightly fox who rode the dog that was guarding the bridge for pretty much no reason in Labyrinth, and then joined their crew. Honestly, Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies growing up. Holds a special place in my heart. Not only that, but it's a good piece of cinema. David Bowie's an incredible artist. Rip. That being said, though, I'm reminded of the Babe. The Babe of the Power. The power of the voodoo. Voodoo, you do. I think my favorite part was the glass orbs being like manipulated up and down his arm and like, yeah. What are they called? Those Anaki orbs. They were like all over TV a few years ago. They were like, you know, that direct TV purchasing thing you could buy, and people would be demonstrating the orbs like all I can't remember what it was. But anyway, that was all over TV about 10, 20 years ago. What's trapped in here? Got too many eyes. I don't like it, Lalandra. If not friend, then why friend shape? Let's move on to the next map. Sadly, Lilandra. Actually, yeah, nope, we gotta move on. Nope, we've done all the maps. Yours is the last one. We did Shims first. We'll hang out in here a little while longer. Let's try it in first person. Where was the entry? We're gonna find it. Or not. There. Is that the entry right there? Hey, Island Lass, thank you for being here. Appreciate you so much. My strategy to mazes is keep the wall on your right shoulder. Right? Keep following that point no matter what. Hey, found the stair down. Did you look at that? Ooh. Ah! Is that a jump? I don't know if I can make that. That's very cool, Olandra. I love it. My favorite room is this one right here. I don't know why, but I just love it. The potion library, infinity room, the black hole rooms. What would you call this? The event horizon room, so to speak, or maybe the galaxy room? I must say, it was 30 hours well spent. You built an amazing map. Very impressed by it. Thank you so much for putting the time and effort into it. But yeah, I totally got out of your maze by following right shoulder mode. Go to this door. The gate room. Oh! Well, crap. I just got trapped. No! Ah! I'm gonna make it. Yes! Oh, so close. Can't trap me. Say I'm a bit of a platforming genius. But now I'm lost. Alright, you stumped me, Lilandra. The gate room is the exit. This one here. So you get all the treasure and then you dial the 7 chevrons and go back to Earth. Yeah, I saw the trace. Uh-oh. You're not the only one who hid your trace overlay from me. I could cheat, but what's the fun in that? Crazy how close the exit is right here. Or, oh, that's this. Never mind, that's not the exit. The exit's over here. Never mind. Alright. Had a lot of fun today, but it's time to wrap up the stream. Got about 2 minutes left in this dam challenge stream. We picked the next dam challenge, which was what? Legend was the theme we picked. So remember, everyone, you've got a couple of weeks between now. Oh my gosh, I forgot to update the bot. Atlam, I'm so sorry. Ugh. This week has really just gotten away from me. I really need to update the bot. My bad. Those times aren't quite accurate. Either way, the CET times are an hour earlier. So my bad. Our next stream is on Monday, by the way. Mapmaker Monday. Every Monday, I host a stream where I build a map live for you to tune in and watch and learn from a master map maker. Think of it like a master class from a teacher or a professor in a course that you're interested in, who gives you hands-on tutelage and answers your questions in real time. During Mapmaker Monday, the stream is AMA format, which means ask me anything. So if you have any questions, concerns, feedback, whatever, hit me up during the stream and I will provide you real-time guidance through your various inquiries. The point of the stream is to build a map, but also give you real-time support and a place to kind of hang out and mingle with like-minded mappers. Hey, Geronimo, thank you for being here, brother. You're always welcome. Really appreciate everyone who participated in the Dam Challenge. Thank you so much. Without you, we wouldn't have a stream. So, again, thank you for your participation. These maps are fantastic, and I'm so glad they're on the workshop for everyone. Partake in them. We're going to run a short ad that is Dungeon Alchemist themed, and then we're going to wrap up the stream. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you for being here. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. We'll see you next time I give a damn. Mac out.
You stand before the long, dark road to the fabled realm of Doyak Ta, and before
What do we see?
I don't know, a goblin.
I kill him. But before she does, I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to know the goblin's name.
Hi, my name is Woblin.
Where do you live there, Woblin?
I don't think that's relevant.
Well, but I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to seek the goblin's abode.
Clever. Find family. Kill entire bloodline. I like it.
Seriously, we're doing this? Okay, well, won't be needing that anymore, will I?
Ever get caught by your players with your pants down? Dungeon Alchemist lets you create wonderful maps for any encounter in seconds.
Oh, Woblin. That's a very impressive, cheese collection you've got there.
Yeah, it is quite impressive, yes. But you know what's more impressive? This map I have to the fabled realm of
Goyak Ta, please take it and leave. Close the door behind you.
Mr. Woblin, I cannot help but notice that you have a secret tunnel underneath your cabinet. Care to explain?
Download Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map maker, on Steam today.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Manager for Dungeon Alchemist. We'll see you next time I give a damn. Back out. Bye. It's happened to us all, Alandra. It's happened to us all.